The Airbus A318 is the smallest aircraft that Airbus have ever produced, and its number of sales are similar to its size, small. So why did this aircraft fail to sell? What went wrong? This is the story about the failure of the Airbus A318. The Airbus A318 is part of the A320 family. It's the same design of aircraft, but built in 4 different sizes: the Airbus A321, the Airbus A320, the Airbus A319, and the smallest of them, the A318, which was given the name the Baby Bus. The A318 made its first flight in 2002, with Frontier Airlines as its launch customer. The A318's sales were so low that I believe it could be considered a failure of some sort. In fact, only 80 of them were ever produced, and only 7 commercial airlines ever operated the aircraft: British Airways, Frontier, LAN, Mexicana, Avianca, and the only 2 airlines that still operate today, Air France and TAROM Romanian Airlines. The A318 was intended as a short-range aircraft with a maximum range of 3,100 kilometers, but Airbus made a longer-range version of the aircraft that had a maximum takeoff weight of 68 tons, giving it a maximum range of 6,000 kilometers. This increased sales as private buyers, such as monarchs and government officials, could buy a converted business jet version of the aircraft that could fly relatively far. The A318 is the largest commercial aircraft to be certified for steep approaches, such as London City Airport. British Airways bought 2 Airbus A318s that flew the famous route from London City to New York JFK with a stop in Shannon, Ireland, where passengers could go through US customs, allowing them to bypass the queues in New York. The aircraft would also refuel to a full load, as the aircraft couldn't take off with its maximum takeoff weight at London City due to its short runway. The aircraft would then fly across the Atlantic on the 5-hour flight to land in New York. This special route was designed for businessmen, and the aircraft was configured in an all-business class layout that was capable of carrying a maximum of 32 passengers. Unfortunately, G-EUNA, which was the last aircraft of this layout, was retired in 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic, as the type was deemed uneconomical. Air France was the largest A318 operator, with 18 of the type in service over a period of 20 years. Unfortunately, Air France is replacing their A318s with Airbus's new A220-300, and TAROM Romanian Airlines has put their A318s up for sale to be replaced by the Boeing 737 MAX 8. Unfortunately, compared to these newer aircraft, the A318 is much less fuel efficient, with a higher seat cost per mile. This is because it's fitted with old CFM56 engines that are way too big for the aircraft's size and weight, and honestly, the A318 is too heavy for its passenger capacity. For example, the Embraer E195 has a 6% fewer seat capacity than the Airbus A318, but it has a 23% lower takeoff weight. The A319, which is the A318's marginally big sister, has a much lower seat cost per mile compared to the A318, which made the A319 the preferred option to operators. Unfortunately, that was the biggest issue for the type, which is why its sales were so low and why it failed. It's very unfortunate because it's a very cool little plane, and it did have its niche, which was operating on short runways, but it just wasn't what airlines wanted from an aircraft, and it just didn't have its place in the market. So that wraps up the story of the Airbus A318, which is episode 2 of the Failure series. Episode 3 will be on the failure of Glasgow Prestwick Airport. To ensure you don't miss it, please subscribe and turn on notifications so you'll find out when it premieres. You can follow my Instagram using the link in the description, where you'll also find updates on my channels and its uploads. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to leave a like as well. But until next time, thanks a lot for watching and take care.